Day. My name is Greg Tadagui, and I will do a presentation on stress in simple words. So if you have the textbook, that would be chapter 10 for ED584. Now in this lesson, we will look at the definition of stress. We will see how stress is determined. We will go over key terms to progress your understanding. These are good terms to know, not just for the presentation, but also for the program. Just kind of keep it in the forefront of your mind as you're speaking and as you're thinking, just so that you become an expert on it. So it's good practice. We will review stress using 1, 2, and 3 syllable words, and we will break down different syllables to better understand stress. So if you see at the corner here, if you see this icon of a egg timer, then that means you will be referring to the handouts. So hopefully you have the handouts. Maybe it was emailed to you. So just go ahead and do the handouts in order. So for this handout, it will be the warm-up activity. And the warm-up activity would be a paired activity. And for this one, you will be putting together definitions and its key terms. So go ahead and pause the video, and you have about maybe 5 minutes to do this, or less than 5 minutes. So once when you're done, you can go ahead and resume back to the screencast video. Okay, so after activity A, we'll go on. So stress. Words have stress. So what is stress? Stress is that something different in the word. So when we say this, we need to think of syllables and the level of sound and the length of time in that syllable compared to the other syllables in that word. So to recap, it's that it's unique. It's that syllable that's unique compared to the other syllables in the highness or the lowness, and it takes longer than those other syllables. Now, when we talk about the duration, it's like the Olympics when you have people racing and then one person wins by microseconds. Yeah. Okay. So for my visual learners, this is a chart for us to see what I'm talking about here. So you have the word, and a word is broken down into 3 syllables. Okay. Now, one of those syllables, okay, would be stressed. It's going to sound different, maybe in its highness, right? And it's going to be just a little bit longer than the other syllables in the word. Okay, and so that's like this is the normal. It's the normal tone when you're talking, or when the word is said. And so what we call this that baseline would be unstressed. So you got in a particular word you have like 2 unstressed syllables and then a stressed syllable. Okay, so now that we know what stress is, what makes stress stress? Okay, for us, it's kind of hard to hear, right? It just takes practice to kind of train your ear as you become a professional in this area. There's 2 ways that we can measure stress, and one is in the physical, right? So our oral instruments, when we produce our language, there's muscle effort and there's pressure in our muscles, right? We activate our oral instruments so that we can produce these sounds. So the stressed syllable would be the syllable with the most muscle effort, right? Another way to measure it would be our perception, like how we hear it or how we perceive it. So if you're talking to me and just, with our own listening, we could hear the different pitches and the tones that's in the language, and that's how I'm able to understand your meaning. So we could pick it up that way too. Okay, so say it with me. We're going to go over some words, all right? And we're going to go in order of 1 syllable words, 2 syllable words, and 3 syllable words. So you see here, this icon here. So what we're going to do is go to the Word document here, and then go ahead and bring up the activity B. Okay, and that's going to be independent practice. So you could go ahead and follow along with the PowerPoint presentation, or if you don't want to follow along, you could actually write your own words here. Okay, so remember that we are going to look for the stress syllable when we say these words. And if you see, again, this icon here, go back and refer to the Word document and go to the next worksheet. So teacher, student, parent. And this is the phonetic spelling. I got the phonetic spelling from dictionary.com. And this is the two-syllable words. And again, you're keeping in mind the stressed syllable. Successful, important, tremendous. Okay, and this is the phonetic spelling. Employee, comprehend, realign. So if you go back to the worksheet, there's going to be space for you to practice the writing, or you could even actually use the cells to write in your own. So phonetic transcription. So not only do we need to know where the stress is, maybe how to break down the syllables, maybe even know the phonetic spelling, but we're also going to need to know the phonetic transcriptions. So phonetic transcriptions, if you see here, this little vertical line, that will tell you that the syllable that's after that, the sound that's after that will be stressed. Okay. So here I marked it with the circles, red circles, and the red underline. And then now with this icon here, go to the next activity and you will practice writing phonetic transcriptions. Okay. Okay, and that'll be activity C. Okay, these characteristics of loudness, deepness, highness, and being longer or hitting harder is having prominence. That's the syllable is prominent. So to ask yourself which syllable has stress is to ask yourself which syllable has prominence or is prominent. Now for my visual learners, this is the chart here. And so prominence has the characteristics of being louder. There's lengths involved, the duration, the movement or pitch, in the word, and then the quality. So the quality is dealing with the where or how the words what the sound is making, how the sound is heard, in terms of the placement of where it is in like the sentence. So for example, do you want a pencil? Sure, I want a pencil. So like a pencil and a pencil. Okay, so that's the placement will also determine the quality and the prominence. Multiple levels of stress. So this means that there's going to be words where there's going to be primary stress and secondary stress. So primary stress is going to be the stress that is the greatest, right? And then any words that or any sounds or syllables that are also stressed, but is just second to that primary stress. Okay, secondary stress also has its own intonation marking. And so what I want you to do is also practice writing for secondary stress. And so that's going to be activity D. So that's this one here. So you're going to notice that the vertical line at the top is going to tell you that it's a primary stress, and the marker, the intonation marker for the vertical line at the bottom, that's going to tell you that it's a secondary stress syllable. Okay, so go ahead and do that activity. So go ahead, pause the video, and then return to the video when you're done. Okay, so stress placement is influenced by words being simple or complex, like standalone words or words with prefixes or suffixes, or there's compound words, words that's going to have like maybe two different sections so that it's one big word. So these words will have multiple stresses. Okay, so how that word is put together will also be influenced, will influence the stress. The part of speech in which the word is used, such as the word perfect. So, oh, this gift is perfect. And oh, I want to perfect this process. Okay, it's stress is placed in a different syllable, and so it changes the meaning. The amount of syllables, like we practice with the 2 and 3 syllable words, and the phonological structure of syllables. So that's talking about the weak and strong sounds. So that's again like going back to the pencil sentence where I say, "Do you want a pencil?" And then I respond to myself, "Yeah, I want a pencil." So that A and the ah. Okay. Now for the phonological structure regarding the weak and strong forms, this is better explained when we break down the structure into onsets, rhymes, and codas. And it took me a while to find a video that I thought would be good that offers a good explanation because this can also be a confusing topic. So I want you to go to this link here and watch this video for further explanation for word stress and how words are broken into syllables. So go ahead, find the video, then watch it. So pause the video, pause the screencast and return to the screencast when you're done with the video. Okay, tips from the material. Stress prediction would be difficult for our ELLs. So consider teaching stress as words are introduced. So it's like it's ongoing. So as they learn new words, that's when you're going to introduce like maybe ways to say it. Prioritize the cognitive load for our ELLs, and this may be a complex concept. So we don't want them their brains or their cognitive load to take over pitch and maybe intonation or stress to take over that it doesn't it prevents them from getting an actual message across. So we just have to make sure that we carefully place when we teach stress and intonation. So to recap, we talked about the characteristics of stress. We found out 2 ways we can know stress is present. We practice using language such as stress, primary stress, secondary stress, unstress, prominence, pitch, tone, all those keywords. We looked at words broken down into syllables, phonetic spellings, and phonetic transcriptions. We looked at intonation markings. Now I want you to do the last activity, which is the assessment. Okay, so there are 10 questions here. 1 to 5 are true and false. 6, 7, 8 are multiple choice. It's A, B, and C, and it's regarding the topic information. And the last 2 are also multiple choice, A, B, and C, and it's regarding IPA spelling. Okay, so thank you very much. I hope your participation in this presentation helped to progress your understanding about stress. Remember, knowing everything about stress and its characteristics does not end here. We should continue our learning and building our craft. Okay, and so this is the resources. So as you watch this screencast presentation, I hope you also have the email for the PowerPoint as well as the handouts on Word. Okay, so there should be 5 activities. And when you're done with the assessment, the answers are here at the bottom. Okay, and the resources are also with the Word document. Thank you very much, and you guys stay safe.